Shalom.
The brothers from GMS New Orleans coming at you with a quick hit. Before we get started, we'll give all glory, honor, and praise to
Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakakudash.
double honors to the elders and apostles of the great millstone. Peace and salutations to the whole for elect scattered across the four corners. And with this lesson, I just wanted to go into staying focused and being alert, lest you be overtaken, because in these times we very close, like prophecies are unfolding as we speak. Like we very close. So we have to make sure that we examine ourselves and make sure that we on point. You could tell me that 2 Corinthians,
right? The book of 2 Corinthians, chapter 13, and verse 5, it says, "Examine yourself, whether ye be in the faith. Prove your own selves. Know ye not your own self, how Yahushua Hamashiach is in you, except ye be reprobates."
Okay, and it's the point I wanted to make in that. It says, "Know ye not your own self," because okay, Jake knew when Jake doing the wrong shit, brother. Yeah. So you gotta. It's up to you to, examine yourself. It start with you. So, Baba Kashab, one more time.
Okay, 2 Corinthians chapter 13 and verse 5 say, "Examine yourself, whether ye be in the faith. Prove your own selves. Know ye not your own selves, how that Yahushua Hamashiach is in you, except ye be reprobates."
And it says, "Except ye be reprobates." And that word, I looked into that word on the online etymology. That word is heavy. Which you could get it for me.
It's the word reprobate from the 15th century. It's an adjective, rejected as worthless. From the Latin reprobatus, it says to disapprove, reject, condemn.
So it says rejected as worthless. So Baba Kashad, give me it in the noun, because that's what the heavy part at.
It says reprobate, noun, 1540s, one rejected by the Most High, a person given over to sin.
Okay, so it says one rejected by the Most High. Bro, that's gun smoke, bro.
That's crazy.
So Baba Kashad, read that scripture one more time and then get the full understanding of it.
God. It says here, 2 Corinthians chapter 13 and verse 5, it says, "Examine yourself, whether ye be in the faith. Prove your own self."
Okay, so it says, "Examine yourself, prove your own self." Go ahead.
It says that, "Know ye not your own selves, how that Yahushua Hamashiach is in you, except ye be reprobates."
Okay, it says, "Except ye be reprobates," which we just went into this word, and it says, "One rejected by the Most High." So you have to make sure you continually examining yourself, which we perish in a new man. The old man day by day.
Yeah, the old man perishes.
So we doing these things daily, on a daily basis. So you have to constantly do this, except you be reprobates. So except you be rejected by the Most High.
The Apostle Paul said, "I die daily."
That's it.
If you could give me that, that's a rock, yeah.
It's the book of Sirach, chapter 5, verse 7. It says, "Make no tarrying to turn to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, and put not off from day to day."
Yeah.
"For suddenly shall the wrath of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai come forth, and in thy security thou shalt be destroyed and perish in the day of vengeance."
So just backing up that point, it says, "Make no tarry to turn to the Lord." So don't put off from day to day. Don't procrastinate.
Right.
If we in a time where we don't even have time to procrastinate. You either in this or you not. There's no, you can't be on the fence about it. Baba Kashab, one more time with it.
Sirach 5, verse 7. "Make no tarrying to turn to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, and put not off from day to day. For suddenly shall the wrath of Yahweh come forth, and in thy security thou shalt be destroyed and perish in the day of vengeance."
In thy security, you should be overtaken. So you should be rejected. As was just said in that word Reprobate. Salaki. Give me Luke 17 and 26. You got something?
Yeah, I had something. I'm gonna bring this out. We'll come back to what you just said. It says here, 2 Peter chapter 1 and verse 2 said, wherefore said the rather, brethren, give diligence to make your calling and election sure, for if ye do these things, ye shall never fail. So right here, you got to make your calling and election sure. And one thing about it, the Lord already said that, the one that is constantly laboring, constantly doing his will each and every day, you will never fail. Having blind faith, constantly trusting and believing Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai, not going in the ways of this world, or this mindset. Make your calling and election sure that you're grounded and seated, in his wisdom and his knowledge and understanding. It only comes from who? Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai. You will never fail. The Lord's going to get us to the finish line. The Lord has overcome. We also shall overcome. You got it, man.
What that was you brought up?
That was 2 Peter chapter 1, and I think it was verse 10. I'm not mistaken. Let's see right here. Yeah, 2 Peter chapter 1 and verse 10.
So,
I'll read it for you.
You go ahead, read it.
This is the book of Romans chapter 13, verse 11. It says, and that, knowing the time, it is now high time to wake out of sleep. For now is our salvation nearer than when we believed.
And I bring it out because, just to back up the point, that we don't really have time to be wasted.
Yeah, we clearly at the end. If you can't discern from the headlines, from just the times that we're in, that this is it, you bugged out, man.
This is it.
The Lord is clearly shutting the doors on his ministry. He's clearly, famine of the word is coming. This word has gone out. As it tells you, a couple chapters over in Romans 10, have they not all heard? Verily.
That's it.
Which is why we have to constantly examine ourselves. Make sure we're not taken away by the ways of the world and things of that nature.
And also, like I say, making sure we don't take our foot off the gas.
That's it.
All right. When you examine yourself, you also looking where you are at the race. Or you got to pace yourself. You got people that start the race, they run real fast and then they gas out. Examining yourself also includes making sure you have the endurance to make it to the end, to make it to the finish line.
Which we were just talking about this, brother. So it's the endurance it plays a big role in finishing a race. Because you, like you said, you have to know exactly how much you have to pace yourself. You can't just start off too fast and you can't go too slow.
That's it.
The moment you go too slow, okay, everybody passing you up, your spot get took. Okay, you go too fast, you burn out, you still get passed up. So you gotta learn how to pace yourself and constantly, endure.
Apostle Paul.
Go along with that.
You can make your point.
Okay, Matthew chapter 24, verse 13, about the endurance, it says, but he that shall endure until the end, the same shall be saved. So that's what we got to do, constantly endure, persevere, suffering, the trials, and the tribulation that's going to be brought upon us. But the Lord is going to try us like the gold is tried in the fire to bring forth that fine gold, which in fact is the elect. You got it, man.
You give me the answer, right? Check the second chapter. You go ahead and make your point too.
I was going to say, Apostle Paul likened this on the boxing. When you look at boxing, you have boxers that'll specifically spend the first few rounds going to the body, trying to tire out their opponent just so they can win in the latter rounds. So, part of boxing is, pacing yourself, examining yourself. Do I have enough gas in the tank? Okay, I'm down 7 rounds. I need a knockout. That involves examining yourself. And this truth is the same thing spiritually. Okay, I need to fellowship more. Then I ain't call this brother in a minute. Then I need to do this lesson. You have to examine yourself.
Because you know where you at.
Yeah.
So you have to know what it takes for you to finish this race.
That's it.
You said Rock too?
Yeah. I just wanted to back up that point where what you had mentioned?
About the endurance, the same that endure, the same shall be saved. In fact, is elect.
Because these are the things that's told us beforehand. If you could start at the top.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 2, starting at the top. My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, prepare thy soul for temptation.
One more verse.
Set thy heart aright and constantly endure.
It says, set thy heart aright and constantly endure. So we was told before we even bro, before we pick this up and say we serving the Lord, like you gotta prepare yourself for this. Because these are the things you have to know, that you have to constantly endure things. Things is gonna come and try to throw you off pad, and you have to kind of know how to, if I could,
navigate yourself through
different situations.
Yeah.
So all these things is a part of the walk.
Yeah, the elders say this all the time, and it's 100% true. The real work is after the camera goes off. All right, it's easy to turn on the camera, go live, read some precepts, salute, and then shut it down. That's the easy part. You're just reading the Bible. All right, the hard part is, when Satan's afflicting you. All right, when demons are just plaguing your mind. Just the day-to-day, your day-to-day life as an Israelite man, that's the actual battle.
I was just finna say, because that's where the true test at.
Yes.
That's where you find out if you strong enough or not.
Mm-hmm.
That's where the endurance come in at. Not when we bringing it out, because that's the simple part.
Yeah.
But once the cameras go off and you gotta go through the battles that's actually being talked about, this is when you prove your endurance.
Yeah, that's it.
You got something?
Yeah, I'm gonna go to Revelation chapter 3, verse 10. Let's bring it out, right? This is where we pretty much where we at. This is one of the trials that we gonna have to pass. Because the Lord said He will keep thee from that hour of temptation, hour of testing. That's what we're coming upon. So everyone is getting ready to be tried. It says here, Revelation chapter 3 and verse 10 says, "Because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I will also keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth." So it's coming upon that time when the Lord is going to try everyone. Whether you're in the truth or not, you know what I'm saying? He's going to be tried. And one thing about the Lord said, because you have kept the patience, the suffering, the affliction, the adversity, you kept pushing, you kept believing. And the Lord said He will keep you from that hour of temptation in that secret place. His wisdom and knowledge, understanding. There will be a stronghold when these times of trouble come. We know that hour of temptation will come. We know about that MOTB, but we don't go too far into that. But just like I said, it's persevering. Keep pushing, meditate day and night, constantly doing the will of Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua. Go ahead, man. You got it.
And what that come with, examining yourself.
There you go.
You have to examine everything that's going on. You can't get past that.
Yeah.
All this come with examining yourself.
Go ahead. Just to back up what you were saying earlier about reprobates, this is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 6, verse 26. It says, "O daughter of my people, gird thee with sackcloth, and wallow thyself in ashes. Make thee mourning, as for an only son, most bitter lamentation. For the spoiler shall suddenly come upon us." And this is what's going on right now. All right, these Edomites have overtaken us. All right, we find ourselves in peril in these last days, and we're mourning. But I'm going to jump down to verse 30. It says, "Reprobate silver shall men call them, because Yahweh hath rejected them." So again, the word reprobate means to be rejected of the Most High. You have to examine. When we go into the prophecies dealing with Zechariah 13 and 8, how 1/3 is going to be brought through the fire and 2/3 are going to be burnt up and destroyed. You have to examine yourself. Okay, am I exhibiting the attributes of the 1/3 or the 2/3?
So what? Everything is examining yourself, brother. Throughout the whole. Listen, no matter what you want say about the walk, brother, you still have to examine yourself to even continue.
Yeah.
To finish.
That's it.
You got something else?
Something just came out. I can only read that kind of bad, but Proverbs chapter 22 and verse 3 says, "A prudent man foresees the evil and hides himself, but the simple pass on and are punished." So because the prudent man, with the fact that wise man, the one that examine himself, count the cost, and knowing exactly, hey man, we live in this time. Let me tighten up on these scriptures. Let me see what I'm weak at, or what I need to, or how I need to improve. Constantly, doing the will of the Lord, constantly striving. For that fine gold, constantly striving for what? The kingdom of heaven that dwells in righteousness. So we foresee is the evil. We're seeing that the prophecies right now are speaking loud and clear. We're seeing that they're lining up just like clockwork, but the simple pass on, the one that has not examined himself, or hadn't counted the cost, or don't have the faith, or constantly, they don't fear the Lord, they're going to perish in a time of trouble. So the 2/3, they're not examining themselves. They're constantly going on with the ways of the world, that do thy will spirit. They're hearing, but they got ears to hear, but they still can't understand it. They have eyes to to see, but they see now because, they're not spiritual. They constantly thinking carnally, you know what I'm saying? So that's where we at right now. We constantly foreseeing the evil, what is getting ready to happen. Great tribulation, you know what I'm saying? Sorrow. We right here, man, and also the kingdom of heaven that dwells in righteousness. We examine ourselves, making sure and making our call and election sure that we'll be a part of that. Hopefully, go ahead, man.
You can back him up with that.
Kind of Romans, when you keep going down to that Romans 13, it backs up everything the brother just said. I'm going to read 11 again. It says, and that knowing the time, that now is high time to wake out of sleep, for now is our salvation nearer than when we believe. Verse 12, the night is far spent, the day is at hand. Let us therefore cast off the works of darkness, and let us put on the armor of light.
Being what? These scriptures, embedding them in our minds. Because, and how do we know to do that? Because we constantly examine ourselves.
Is it?
We see the things that's coming to pass, and that's how we know that it's time to, because if you keep reading down, it tell you to put away the things of the world. So, us examining ourselves is what allows us to know that it's time to put those things away. You got something you want to say?
I got this one more. It says, 1 Peter chapter 5 and verse 8, it said, be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walks about, seeking whom he may devour. So when you go into that word vigilant, that means be what? Watchful, examine, count the cost. Know what time you live, have a sober mind, a sound mind, redeem that time wisely. The adversary. The word adversary means what? Your enemy. You know what I'm saying? Who is the enemy? You know what I'm saying? The modern day so-called Esau Edom. You know what I'm saying? The so-called white man. So what they buy, so that's what the Lord is constantly showing us, preparing us, but we got to examine ourselves and count the cost and constantly be patient, and constantly suffer through these trials that is getting ready to come upon us. Go ahead, you got it once again, you got it.
I'm gonna get a couple things over here just to end it with. This that word examine on the online etymology. It says to inquire. It says to question, to consider, to ponder. That's it. But basically,
yeah, it really goes into considering. You want to consider the things you're doing, all right, whether they're an asset or a liability to the body. You want to do that daily.
It says, where is it? It said means of weighing. So you have to weigh the things that you kind of have to, the things we wind up putting ourselves through. The way we examine it is to weigh our options, basically.
Yeah, you weigh your actions in the balance.
Which
that's what the Most High does. He weighs men's options, so like your actions in the balance. That's how you decide. That's how he decides whether or not you're a reprobate.
So hopefully this lesson was edifying. Before we get out of here, we're going to give all glory, honors, and prayers to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem, Kakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of the Great Millstone. Peace and salutation to the whole for elect. Shalom.
Shalom.